So seen from inside the storage compartment, here we have the left main lift cylinder that is mounted with the bottom forward just in front of the rear wheel well. There's a little bit of moisture on top. That's not really where the main leak is, but the cylinder is leaking big time. First thing you may spot is that the bottom hose is a little wet, and then if you look a little bit farther, if the leak was fresh, you would see fluid dripping off the very bottom edge of the cylinder. The fluid drips down into a cavity in the body, and actually you can empty the whole pump's reservoir a couple times over before you ever have fluid on the ground. So the chassis is able to absorb a lot of this fluid without you realizing where the leak is. The main lift cylinders are the main culprits these days for leaks on CLKs, and of course the front lock cylinder, and it'll be fairly obvious to you if the tonneau cylinder in the trunk is leaking. Anyway, the main lift cylinder is typically first leak way on the bottom. To take the cylinder out, it's a two-step process. The first step is easy. We remove the upper mounting pin, and in order to remove that one, we only have to take off a circlip over here, same as I illustrated before on the bow tension cylinders, where you stick your flat screwdriver in here, which opens the clip, and you pull it off. And now you can pull out the upper mounting pin for the cylinder. Then the smart thing to do is push the rod end in, push the shaft all the way into the cylinder. We'll do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll go to the inside of the car, take out some panels to remove the lower mounting pin. So let's go over the steps to remove all trim pieces to get access to the lower main lift cylinder mounting pins. First thing is take the trim piece guide off the seatbelt extender. To do that, you extend the seatbelt, and let me show you first what it looks like removed. There is a plastic retainer here that you have to push up, so push it on, push onto this extender through the slotted hole down here, and you get this trim piece off. Now we can let the extender pull back in and turn off the ignition. Then we have already done some prep steps. Wanted to show you, next step is to take the bottom seat cushion out. It's easy to do that. There are two hex nuts each holding the bottom of the seat cushion in place. Hex nuts hold right on here. On these holders for the bottom seat cushion is a plastic cover. To get the plastic cover off, you simply put a screwdriver through the opening on the bottom and push against the plastic tab until you can lift this plastic piece out. It exposes 13 millimeter hex nut, meaning it's an M8 nut with a 13 millimeter hex bolt. We've already taken that out. Let's do the same thing on this side. We still have one bolt in here. There we go. I have that cushion out. Next is take out the subwoofer that has two vertical nuts and two horizontal ones, both M6, meaning 10 millimeter hex head. Come on. There we go. And we unplug the subwoofer, of course. mounted back here. Oops, turn this around. 2 horizontally mounted M6 10mm hex heads. 1 and 2. There we go. And we should be able to pull out the subwoofer after we pull out this trim piece. Subwoofer. Let's take that out. Now we have a couple more bolts for the seat bench. Actually hex nuts again. These are M8 13mm hex heads. We've already taken those out. That's why the seat was moving a little bit while I was pulling the subwoofer. And we first pull the bottom of the seat bench forward, then the whole thing up, and there goes our seat bench. So we don't have to take the seat belts out all the way. It would be smart to have some clean towels down here so your beautiful seat doesn't get dirty. Okay, 3 more bolts to remove. One we've taken out already, second one here, T25 Torx bolt. Then we take out this SRS airbag trim piece. Note how it's held in place. If you had to, you could squeeze it, squeeze the tabs together, but you can actually just wiggle it out. Then you'll find a T25 bolt behind here that we've taken out already. With that bolt taken out, next thing is 2 more bolts yet. 2 small Phillips that hold the retaining plate for the trim molding. Then we can pull out the airbag trim piece. This trim piece is what would pop out in case of an accident when the airbag suddenly comes out here. This trim piece slides down on the bottom, is pushed into tabs on the top. So take this trim piece out, and we have another bolt hiding here that we already took out for you to make the video faster. Now we pull the corner molding, weather stripping, and we pull up and wiggle on this interior quarter panel. Now the next thing is the window switch down here. You can either take the whole switch out from behind the panel, or you just disconnect it. All you have to do to disconnect it is pull this wire backwards, and of course don't forget to plug it in again when you put the panel back in later. At this point we should be clear to take this panel out. We wiggle around the rocker panel trim and set this trim piece aside to then move on to the airbag. And I'm just looking around for my T25 wrench that I had a moment ago. Here it is. Now one should disconnect the negative pole of the battery to make sure that this airbag doesn't go off. I will be extra careful for this video and just try to save time. Take this off carefully and try to stay out of its way. There's 1 bolt on the top, 1 bolt here, 2 bolts on the bottom. I've already loosened the bolts, so this whole thing goes a little bit faster. And here goes my last bolt. Carefully put this thing aside. Don't disconnect it, just be careful with it. It is, after all, an explosive device. Anyway, here we are. We have the right main lift cylinder lower mounting bolt pin exposed. Next, we'll go about taking the cylinder out and replacing it. So I have turned the retaining clip here into just the right position that I can now slide my screwdriver in here, turn the screwdriver and pull this clip up just like we've done it before. You slightly turn the screwdriver to open it up and then just pull later on to reinstall. You can just push it back on the same way and pull the screwdriver out. Got this. We pull the pin. There are reports that sometimes these pins are a little bit stuck. Well, you'll just have to either lever from the other side, make sure that you don't mushroom the head, or put vice grips on this end in case this pin should be tight. Got the lower mounting pin out. Now we can pull the right main lift cylinder out here. We cannot pull it terribly far, so basically we have to work in tight quarters for the top hose. Let me show the removal of the bottom hose. Same as always, the even hose number is on the bottom. It's number 14 on the right bottom. We cut a zip tie over here, but we leave the routing the way it is. Now, several ways, as always, to get these pins off. If you're really lucky, they come loose with some pushing from the inside. This one moved a little bit. Now I have a tiny gap between the hose fitting and the clip itself. I can pry in there and hopefully get that clip loosened and moved some more. Or if all else fails, now that I have loosened it already, I can pull with these pliers. Again, be careful with pliers not to smush the head of these pins. Take out the hose, get my paper towels before I get everything messy around here. Not that we don't have a bunch of oil here from the original leak anyway. Now I will have to get that upper clip loose the same way. That's the trickier part right now. Theoretically, if push came to shove, theoretically we could lift the top and pull the cylinder out and do the hose removal from inside the storage compartment, but there is enough space here to save that extra step. So I will have to loosen that clip with my pliers as well. It was too tight to move it with a screwdriver. There we go. Clip is loose. I pull out the hose. Here's our old cylinder. I save the clips. Put the clips into the freshly rebuilt cylinder from Top Hydraulics. And now first put my O-ring on the upper hose, number 13 here. As with all the others, with all the other aluminum cylinders, always put the O-ring on the fitting first, then push the fitting into the cylinder. In this particular case, where it is kind of tight here, we want to watch out that we still push the fitting in to the cylinder straight, that we don't cog it. We push the fitting in straight, then secure the clip. Then if we push the cylinder up some more, we can put the O-ring on here, on this fitting. Well, that's the video effect. I thought I'd go extra fast and show you how I tighten the upper clip later, but there are no good shortcuts here. We have to push this in and then secure the clip. I thought I could save the step of cutting the zip tie here, but that didn't work out. So I have cut the zip tie after all. Now we have more room to push this fitting in. The fitting was in all the way already. Now we push the clip back in, and next put the lower fitting in, secure the clip again. And if I had two small zip ties handy right now, I would put one here again and one up there again. For demonstration purposes for the video, I'll just leave that out for now and put the mounting bolt back in place. One trick, if you can't line the cylinder up perfectly down there, you could wiggle with the screwdriver until it is lined up perfectly with the hole, but it worked out okay. So here I go again, putting my small flat screwdriver in the clip, turning my screwdriver, thus opening the clip. Actually, to install the clip onto the mounting bolt, you don't really have to open it up. You just have to get it in the correct position and snap it into place. There we go, we got this cylinder swapped. Ta-da! So here we have the left main lift cylinder, and I just wanted to show you the hose routing on it. We've replaced the cylinder already and put the hoses back in, zip tied them. You zip tie one loop on the bottom here, you zip tie all three hoses together on the top, and the important thing to show is hose number 11 goes all the way on top, hose number 15 top middle, hose number 12 on the bottom, where hose number 11 is the one that routes down and up back to the top, yet number 15 comes straight down over here. It's the only way to properly clear all the moving parts in this top, to install the hoses that way. And we just put the cylinder back in and align it with this hole, put in the pin, put in the retaining clip, and put the trim panels back in. Again, it's really important, if you're having one of the main lift cylinder leaking, positively do the other one at the same time. It's a lot of work. It's not much more work to take out the extra trim panels. It's just getting this whole thing moving and remembering how you put all these panels in. You save a lot of labor doing both at the same time, and really, while you're at it, doing these two, do all 7. They all fail at practically the same time in the grand scope of the car's lifetime, and best to do everything at the same time together.